Okay, update on the property in New York. Lots of things are happening. I first order of business to let you know is that machine right there, that Takeuchi TL150, the 12,000 pound like skid steer track loader. We bought that. It's sweet. Too bad it's broken. It's constantly broken, and that is why the cab is up right now. So gotten about 20 hours of use out of it, and those 20 hours have been fantastic. But hopefully next week it'll be fixed. In the meantime, I rented an excavator, another one. It's actually slightly bigger and a lot newer than the last one I had. It's a Komatsu PC 160, and it's way new. It's got like I guess the other one had a heated air-conditioned cab as well, but it's just way new. It's way comfortable, way quieter, and it's heavier, so it's more powerful, pulling stumps and doing all the stuff it does. The main thing I've been using it for is to widen the road, cut down some more trees, and cleared more off to the side of the road, because really it ended up not being wide enough. There has to be a trench dug on the side of the road for the electric and the cable TV, and I thought it was enough, but it wasn't enough, so I had to do that and then actually dig in the trench. And you can see here, it's kind of hard to see. I'll show you, I'll go film this in a second, but I have a 3 foot deep, 18-inch wide trench going back about 2,000 feet along this road, and that's going to be for the electric and the cable TV. I want to show you here, what this trench looks like. Now here we go. Yeah, kind of filled with water a little bit there because it's been raining, but you can see here, it's rough, but that's what it looks like. It's going to be sand padded. I'm going to put 6 inches of sand on the bottom, and then I'm going to lay my electrical number 2 UDP primary. It's going to carry, I think, something like 6,000 volts, and then in 2-inch schedule 80 conduit, and then right next to that I'm going to put I forgot what the type of cable it is, but it's for the cable company, so I can get internet and TV and stuff, and that's also going to be in 2-inch schedule 80 PVC conduit. And then on top of that, 12 inches of sand, maybe, we'll see. It's a big trench, and that's a lot of sand, so I'm actually thinking about skimping a little bit, since most of it's going to be in conduit anyway. I might do like 4 inches of sand, and then 6 on the bottom, and then 6 inches of sand on the top. We'll see. I've talked to a lot of people here, and everybody's got a different opinion. The general gist, the opinion is that in areas where there's lots of rocks or you're near the road, I'm going to basically pad it with more sand and use conduit in those areas. So, as we can see, the trench goes along the right side of the road, and then based on where the trees were that I didn't want to take down, I'm actually crossing the road over here, and the trench continues on the left side of the road. Continues on the left side of the road way far, basically the whole way down. You can see here, the trench is a little bit neater over here, which is nice. And right over here we have transformer box pads. Now these bad boys, let me show you these. They're fiberglass, about 3 feet deep, 3 feet high, 52 inches wide in both directions, and these guys actually go upside down and go into a square hole in the ground, and the cable in that trench comes in through these guys. So imagine this turned upside down, and then the cable goes in on the bottom and then loops around in there, and then can continue on down the road. The point of this, it's a pedestal. It's like it's a vault. It creates this void in the ground where the wire is, and then it creates a pedestal on top where the electric company comes and puts a transformer. And the whole point of that is to take 6,000 volts. I think it's 6,000 volts. It might be more. It's high voltage, and it's transforming it down to 220 volts to service my panels that are going to service the house and the yard and things like that. All the lights and the computers and things. So the deal is with AC, over distances longer than like 200 feet, you start having voltage drop. One way to alleviate voltage drop is to use heavier gauge cable, spend more money on that. But it doesn't make sense. What I'm running here along this 2,000 feet from the road back to the build site is, it's called primary. It's entrance cable. So it's one big thick, maybe 4/0 cable, I think. And I got aluminum. And then there's like a neutral or ground or something wrapping around the cable. You can see it right here. I have a spool right here. So this is the sheathing that protects it, that's watertight and protects it from like rocks and whatnot. And then underneath it, you can actually feel it. You can feel the that cable that wraps around the big heavy gauge aluminum cable. So that is almost 2,000 feet on a reel here. And there's my 2-inch Schedule 80 PVC bell housing, or bell ends right here. See, one end is regular and the other end has the bell on the end, so you don't need couplers. You can just glue them together. Alright, so I have 2 transformer box pads back there because, as you can see, this road just keeps on going. Because halfway down the road, I'm gonna put a box pad just in there for the future. If we want to build another house about halfway down. If we were not to do that now, it's like a $500 investment total probably. If we didn't do it now, we'd have to dig a whole new trench or something when we wanted to build again. So that is definitely getting done. So the way that voltage drop is dealt with the entrance cable is by running the high voltage. So you run like 6,000 volts, let's say, and you run it 2,000 feet. Let's say you do have some voltage drop. You will have some voltage drop. Maybe you lose about 10 volts or 20 volts or something. Then you have 5,980 volts. Well, the transformer at the other end of this run is transforming that down to 220. So yes, when it does step that down to 220 volts, when the amps come up inversely as that happens, they won't come up as much as they would if we got our full 6,000 volts, but the loss is like negligible. But the key is that on the other end, we end up with a true 220 volts, and we can also, on 2 poles, I guess, so we can also have 110 volts as well for standard appliances and things like that. So that's the whole point. You run high voltage, deal with that little bit of voltage drop, you transform down, and then you have exactly the 220 or 110 volts that you're looking for. So let's just take a walk down the road here. Something to note is that what I'm walking on is definitely not hard ground. I was up to ankles and sometimes even up to my knee in mud. I only have time to work on this project on the weekends right now because I work during the week. And I swear it has been raining pretty much like every Thursday, Friday. So when I come here, I'm just in a big mud pit. It's been very frustrating. So I'm running out of time too. It's getting to be cold and I need to get this done before frost. So, oh boy, see, I'm stepping in severe mud. All right, well, as we continue to walk down this crazy muddy road, maybe I'll stop for a second and talk about what is going to happen to this road. Well, this road is not going to stay muddy much longer. It can, so I'm going to lose my mind. A couple possibilities here. So one thing is I have to grade out the road a little bit. I'm going to do that with the bucket on the track loader that I showed you back there. I was just told today that all this like mucky mud, I can actually just scrape that off the top and get down to like my compacted like whatever is below this muddy topsoil. Get down to that, and then I'll have a better base. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm either going to get like a 4-, 4-inch like river rock style and less, and do a 4-inch layer of that, and then do what they call item 4, which is a crushed stone mixed with fines, so it compacts and it makes a nice hard top, and the water sheds off it really nicely, while water that is coming across the road can kind of drain underneath that through the bigger rocks. Either that or 8 inches of shale, I was told today. We'll see. I'm pricing it around right now, and that's key. Honestly, this road is huge. It's going to cost a lot of money. Huge concern is money. So I just got hooked up with a guy from my electrician, who's going to literally charge me half the price for the stone and the sand bedding for the trench and for all the stone for the road. So it is crucial when you guys, like, if you got anybody's doing this, when you're sourcing any materials, price around, especially like where I am now, which is sort of like kind of upstate New York. People know that I'm moving from the city, and people want to take advantage of me. So for example, I'm going to give you some exact numbers here. I talked to 3 electricians. The first 2 quoted me, and this is for basic stuff. I'm running the whole entrance cable. This is just for the connections on the end and the stanchion on the other end connecting to the transformer. One guy charged me, quoted me $4,600. The other guy, $4,100. Third guy, $2,600. And the reason why is because they, you know, we're talking, we're friendly. I'm going to be friendly with anybody that I meet, and he thinks I have $1 million, and he knows I'm from the city, and he wants to take advantage and make a bunch of money off me, which is fine. It's his prerogative, but he's not going to get my business because I'm shopping around, like you should too. Be smart about it. Save some money. Okay, so I'll have some videos of the road later on. In any case, let's keep walking. As we come up here, I want to show you guys, give you guys an idea of how long this is. I mean, we've already walked about 500 feet. As we come to the crest of this hill, you will see how far back it goes. Alright. Maybe I should stop and navigate this mud and zoom in a little bit. Man, I don't know what you can see. Video just doesn't do this justice. Okay, so this goes all the way back. That clearing back there to the left is the build site, and then beyond that is another 300 feet of road that goes to a yard that I'm going to be using to do some sawmilling and air drying of lumber. Let's hop over into the trench. I don't know what you can see with this trench, but that's one way, that's the other way. It took me about a day and a half to dig this thing all the way back there. Alright, as we're walking down this hill here, which is probably pretty hard to see the hill, just want to mention that you see how it's built up on the side here. When I was coming through the woods, I tried to navigate this hill. You can see the hill goes down like this, from left to right, down. So I'm navigating down this hill, you know, kind of with the length of the hill, and I had to, it was too steep, so I had to build it all up along this side. I'm probably built up about 5 or 6 feet in certain areas, and up there is the top of the hill, so I'm like in the middle of it now. So that had to happen. I did that with the excavator. There you can see the 30-inch or 36-inch bucket that I'm not using right now on the excavator. Just dropped it off there. And there you can see more trench. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is where the mud gets really bad right now. Just gonna keep walking. Okay, we're coming up on one of many saw log piles I have around the property. These are all logs that I intend to mill into lumber. We have a mix of softwoods and hardwoods. I got pine on the property, but then I also have ash and something I don't know what it is, white oak, red oak, hickory, maples. I do have some sycamores and stuff. Actually, there's my sycamore right over there. You can't, it's right in the center. The one sycamore I have on the property. except for in the way back. There's another one by the stream, but don't really go back there all that much. So yeah, we got saw log piles around the property. These are logs that are generally between 15 and 30 inch diameter. And then, I mean, I got firewood up the wazoo. Up ahead here, we're gonna come to one of the firewood piles. Yep. See the excavator now. It's on our. So I consider what we're walking on right now the road, and where the excavator is, that's what we're calling the driveway. It turns off the road and it approaches the build site. So we're right alongside the road here. Oh yeah, the trench breaks away from the road there, and then we continue on the road, and the entrance to the driveway is right here. You can see big ass firewood log pile. This is the biggest one, but I have probably, oh my gosh, I don't even know, 10 times this much on the property. A lot of it's already in piles like these. These are we're already cut into firewood sized logs, because like 18 inch, because it's before I had a machine to move them around, and we had to move them all off when we were clearing the road. We had to do it by hand. So there's the excavator, and just beyond that is the build site. So let's walk up there. Before we get there, let me just point out, this is the end of the trench so far. I stopped here because this is where we're going to cross the driveway to just behind this excavator, and I'm not doing the crossings yet because I need to like make a way to cross over them. Not ready to do that yet, but if we go straight across, diagonally across the road, we're going to come to a big hole. And this right here is a hole for one of those transformer box pads. It's going to sit in the ground, and I'm going to backfill around it. And I already described that. And then here's my chainsaw, about to cut up some logs. And this is the build site where I'm putting the steel building. Whoa, and there's deer. Can you see him? Oh, there he ran away. Deer everywhere. In fact, hunting season is about to begin. You got to be careful out here because wearing bright colors is good. We have to post no trespassing, no hunting signs, because otherwise people don't know not to come into this property. And we're definitely in danger if people are hunting here. So we have to avoid that at all costs. I think I'm going to try my hand at hunting. I eat a lot of meat and don't believe in the resources that it takes to produce meat that we're eating or the treatment of the animals. So it's hard for me. I know it's going to be hard for me to kill anything. I have a hard time killing insects, but it's what I think is right to do compared to buying meat from the store, especially cows. So that's going to be an interesting adventure. I am standing right in the middle of a really messy build site right now. I was just pulling stumps a little earlier today. Got a nice white oak log there. Some red oak right there. Some more red oak. So this is where the steel building is going. And right beyond there, up there where those trees are still standing, that's where our house will go one day. The steel building is going to be our shop and our garage, and we're going to have an apartment that we're going to live in for however long it takes to save money up to start building a house. So yeah, that's the tour. That is pretty much the whole deal. I'm gonna get back on the excavator right now, and I'm gonna finish digging a little bit of that trench. I just want to show you how I'm digging it with the 18-inch bucket, And yeah, so thanks for coming on this walk with me and taking a look at our homestead. What's going on here is we're tailgating rock, 4 to 6 inch rock right now, onto the road. Over there, you can see an excavator. What he's doing is he is